Hello and welcome back to FM Wonderkids, the home of Wonderkids on Football Manager, but also the home of Euro 2020. That's right, Euro 2020 is taking over the channel. Today we're going to be looking at my first draft for the Fantasy Football Euro 2020 game. I'm going to talk about the players I've chosen, why I've chosen them, and some absolutely explosive players in this squad, so make sure you stick around till the end. 16 days, 10 hours and 4 minutes to go until the tournament kicks off. So we're going to be doing daily content across my 3 channels based on Euro 2020, heavily leaning into the fantasy football game. So let me know in the comments below, will you be playing the fantasy football game? Are you interested in it? Are you not interested in it? Hit the dislike button if you're not, and maybe I'll just stop doing videos because I don't want people to dislike them. But if you do want to play it, excellent, because we're going to talk about it today. Time to get excited, folks. 16 days, 9 hours and 46 minutes until Euro 2020 kicks off. And what better way to get into the swing of things and into the spirit than picking your fantasy football team. The link to join our league is in the video description. That is absolutely free, so head on over. Let's go and have some fun this summer. Today I'm going to talk you through my first draft, and we're going to start off with the substitutes. Now, substitutes play a very important role in Euro 2020 fantasy football. Unlike FPL, which might be a game which you're familiar with, that's Fantasy Premier League, substitutes can be made during game weeks or match days, as they're called in this tournament. So it's always a good idea to have decent subs so that during that match week or match day, you can bring them on if your first 11 haven't performed. So with that in mind, I've picked Tim Krul as my substitute goalkeeper. He's only 4.5 million playing for the Netherlands. From what I can see, he's first choice, so that is an excellent value pick as far as I'm concerned. The fixtures are incredible. They play Ukraine, Macedonia and Austria, which I think they got the best group out of the lot. Next up, Harry Maguire. Will he make it onto the plane? Won't he make it onto the plane? We're not sure yet. Man United play that Europa League final tonight. We don't know if he's going to play. Gareth Southgate doesn't know how injured he is, and he won't know until after that game's finished, apparently, because Man United are keeping it very hush-hush. But we know how attacking he is from corners, etc., and we've seen it in tournaments previous. He can score goals. I've gone for Bernardo Silva then as my Portuguese representative warming the bench. They play Hungary in the first game, which I think he'll be hungry for goals in that one. Then they play Germany and France, which are 2 trickier fixtures, but I'm sure that these teams and these players will rise to the occasion. Danny Olmo then, a Wonderkid from Football Manager, and there's a couple of them in the draft, I think. Very attacking, looks like he plays most games for Spain. 7 million seems like great value to me. First choice goalkeeper Jan Sommer, purely because he plays earlier in the match day than Tim Krul. So if he doesn't perform, I can bring Tim Krul in. Switzerland have very good defensive numbers through qualifying, so I'm expecting, unfortunately, a clean sheet against Wales. Moving into the back 4 then, I got Daley Blind, the United legend who we sold way too early. Again, the Netherlands fixtures are very, very good, and their defensive numbers in qualifying are good as well, but they have obviously lost Virgil van Dijk. Owen Wijndal as well, as an attacking fullback for the same Netherlands team, I think could provide great value, coming in at 4.5 million. 2 Switzerland guys at centre-back. Again, just looking at those Switzerland numbers, and the price of these players is great, 5 million and 4.5 million. I can't pronounce the names, but I've done a bit of research, and it looks like they're starting players 75% of the time. Power midfield now of Joe Morel and Ethan Ampadu. Okay, you might say, Rhys, who are they? Well, they play for the best nation in the world. They're centre midfielders, so they're not really explosive options, but they are cheap, and they play crucially before any of my other players. So they go in as a bit of a placement holder until the big boys kick off later in the week, and if they do get something, fantastic. Torres then, I think, is a really good shout. He plays a lot for Spain. He scored a hat-trick in qualifying, at least 1 hat-trick in qualifying. He might have scored 2, maybe 3, but he definitely scored 1. Great fixtures, especially that first one against Sweden, then Poland, then Slovakia, makes Ferran Torres my boy. And if you've been watching the FPL channel, you already know he's my boy. Up front, Everybody wants to see who's up front, and of course I couldn't go without Harry Kane. He's selected by 35% of the game already. He's 11.5 million, which I think is a good deal, although it's probably one of the most expensive prices in the game. England play Croatia, which isn't easy, but then they play Scotland, which I'm expecting goals in that game, followed by the Czech Republic. Morata makes up the second forward in this formation of mine. Again, Spain's fixtures are decent. Morata seems to be playing up front in most games for Spain, and at 9 million, you've got to be having some of that. Last then, but definitely not least, is Cristiano Ronaldo. I've made him my captain, but that might change, and we'll talk a little bit tomorrow about how captaincy and substitutions and what the differences are of Euro 2020 fantasy football to the other fantasy football games that you might be used to. But Ronaldo, you surely can't go without this guy in this game, right? 12 million, he's an absolute beast. They won the Euros last time, I think in 2016. They bet my country Wales. And Ronaldo was instrumental in that. He's one of the best players in the world, top 2 without a doubt, probably in anybody's mind. The best player in this tournament, and Portugal's team are very, very good, and their numbers are very, very good, and Ronaldo's numbers don't even need to be spoken about. So that's the team, that's the first draft. There's plenty of time for it to change over the course of the next 2 weeks while all the squads get announced, confirmed, etc. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Are there any changes you would make? Get involved in our mini league. Go and pick your team and pit yourself against me and the rest of us in the FM Wonderkids community. Guys, thanks for watching. Have a good summer. I hope your team does well in the Euros, and stay tuned for more Euro 2020 content.